So hello everyone, welcome to the project. In this project, we are going to learn how to hide the data in image using tkinter and pillows. This is also called as a steganography, and since we are hiding our data in images, this is called image-based steganography. Coming to the requirements, first talking about the editor, I am going to use VS Code editor. You can use any editor that suits. Or talking about the libraries, we are going to work on the two libraries, that is the tkinter and the pillows. And all these libraries are basically of Python, so Python is pre-required. Now tkinter comes by default installed in your installed with the Python version. If you are having a version greater than 3, but you need to install pillows. So all you need to do just is open your CMD and type there pip install pillows, and that will install pillow in your Python. Now, talking about the steganography, actually this is a method of hiding any information or data inside the image, audio or video. So basically these three are the required where we can actually hide our data. And in this project we are just going to work with the images. That's why it is, as I have told you earlier, it is image based steganography. In today's era where even someone have a Facebook ID, he can just create a nuisance for you. So having your passwords and all your information to be very secured is really very necessary. Now you cannot just have a simple passwords, and there are so many IDs and so many passwords that you want to save and keep it secret. If you are going for a long password, it will be difficult for you to remember. So you can just create images, hide your password there, and then whenever you want you can decode your images, use your password, and then just go on. So this will actually keep your passwords secret. For example, here I am just talking about the password. There are a lot of more data that you want to save, like your locker number, your PC password, anything that you don't want to have a look. You don't want that someone may look on your data. Even your projects and assignments that you are working on, that is also some people like they don't want that someone would come and interfere in their projects. So they can keep that data also secure in these methods. But as we were talking about the password, so if there is so many images present there and you have encoded the password there, no one will ever be able to identify the images, the difference between them, that some data is written over them. So this is the best way to keep your data. Someone will think that okay, this is a gallery folder, and they will just go, and no one can ever guess that there is a very important data for you. You can keep your images on your upload them on your backup also. Like if you are a Windows user, you can use OneDrive. If you are a Google user, you can go with the Google Photos. But your data is already secured in your images, and that is why this is the most powerful tool that even large institutions use to keep their data secret. Now the idea behind this, that every image is basically made up of 3 pixels, that is red, green and blue. All these colors that you see, like black is generated, yellow is generated, they are generated by the combination of these 3 colors. So if you are having a RGB code for any color, you can just make new color out of it, like sky blue, variations in the colors, dark blue, violet, purple, all these have some RGB codes for them. Now we are going to just give some editing to these RGB colors and pixels so that the image will remain same, but there is a small difference that even our eyes cannot remember this. Since there are so many pixels inside the image, so just editing some of the pixels will not give any impact on the image, and it will be difficult for a user to identify which one is the original image. Now our project will be divided into a 3 part. The first will be the designing, in which we are going to design our application. All those designing work will come inside the tkinter. So we'll be using different functions of the tkinter like frames, labels, grids to design our project or application. Now next part comes about the how we are going to encode the data and decode the data. So we will be writing various functions for this when we will be encoding our data and decoding our data inside the image. Now the logic behind this is we are going to take 3 pixels. So 3 will be 3 into 3 means 9 values will be there, since each pixel will have inside it 3 values. So 3 3 is 9, and now we will be converting all our strings or data into ASCII values. So ASCII value have a 8-bit binary code. You can represent any data you have like slash, @ hashtag with the ASCII values. Now these 8 values will be written over these 9 values, and last one value will be there, and it will be divided into 1 and 0. So If this is odd means we need to continue, and if it is 0 it means the information is ended and we don't need to continue to the pixel. So in this way we can just track down the pixels that where we need to carry edit the pixels and encode the data. Now when the decode part come, we will do just opposite of it. We will get the pixels, just read the 1 and 0 inside those pixels, that all the pixels will have 0, those who are ended, and only those pixels which are having 1 we will just extract the data out of them, convert back into the ASCII values, and from ASCII values convert back them into the data that we are having and display it to the user. Now Tkinter is a powerful library which will help us to achieve the graphical user interface, and Pillow is something very interesting and new. Actually this is an expansion of a PIL, Python imaging library, but PIL is now closed and there is a Pillow which has transformed this, taken the place of the PIL. So Pillow has all the powerful image processing tools that we need to convert the image, to resize the image, to change the pixels of the image. Even it supports a large number of file formats like PNG, JPEG, JPG, and so many more. So this is the best tool to use to process our images, because image processing is the most important part, since we are encoding and decoding the data inside the image. So this video will be very interesting and it will be a full of learning. It is going to be a bit complex, but we need to be very careful. If you just understand it clearly, all the basics are clear, you will be very easily understand what is happening inside the code and build your own encoding project. So just keep watching the video and just start learning. So hello everyone. Today we are just going to work with a steganography project. In this project we are going to build an Python program to decode and encode our project, our data. Now what is steganography? Steganography means it is an art of hiding your data inside an image. So if you are having an image, you can use any image that you have. You can hide your particular data in that same image, and after some time if you want to just get back your data, you can decode your image and find out that data. Now you need a same program that we are going to write here to decode or encode your data. Decoding means you are finding or getting back your data from it that is written there in a hidden form, and encoding means hiding your data inside an image. You can use any image here. We will be working with the image. Also, as per our compiler, you can use any compiler to work with. I am using a Visual Studio. You can go with the Atom, Jupyter, Collapse, whatever suits you. I have made a file here that is with the name hide.py. In this file, we are going to work write all our code. You can build the file with your exactly whatever name you like. So the reason we are learning this project is steganography is really important art in today's world, where there are so many presets you have on different websites and you want your password to be secure. Also, if you are having some another data that is very important and you don't want to share that with anyone, you can just hide your data inside your image. If even someone tries to look at that image, identify that some data is hidden here. But if you are having this code, you can just run it back and decode that, okay, you have hidden data, now you want to get it back. Now in today's world, when every password is just easily guessable, means anyone can find out using @123 and use your name to find out the password, we are using a strong password. And to remember those strong password, you can write it on a diary or save it on your Chrome. But the problem is that anyone can look it back on your diaries or wherever you have written, or you may miss them. Also in Chrome also it is easily visible whatever your password you are having. Someone knows your password, mobile password. So this is the main reason that we are going to build this project and identify that how we can securely save our data in the form of an image. Now let's start our project. We'll be just importing the libraries. So I am going to import from Tkinter import. Now next thing, import. We are going to import here, import Tkinter file dial. Help to communicate with the user. Just so also we are just that is Pillow If you are not having pillows installed pre-installed in your compiler or in your Python version, you can just install it, write a command pip install and pillows. So that will work and install the PIL from your for your Python compiler. Port. We are working with pillows because we are using image to hide our data, and pillows work very efficiently when we are working with the images because it gives us lots of function to work with. Box. Now this IO is also very important file because we will be working with the input output. Another important thing is import OS. This OS will actually help us to surf between or surf between our explorers so that we can import or select an image to hide or select an image to decode our data. If you are having a pre-encoded image and you just want to look back your data, you can use a decode there. We are just going to make a class. Going to make a class with the hide. After this, we are just going to declare art here. Art will be used to display a written thing like I am going to write here data hiding, and I will design it in some way that it may look good or designable to the user, because it will be like a title displayed on our window that we are going to create. We would did image. Yeah, we have written our art. I will give a space here. It towards the art. I'm going to declare a art2. Give it back that it not give a error, that is indentation error. Now we will go with the output. Here in this video we are just going to define our home page of our graphical window is the with the tkinter that we are going to build, and this will be the graphical image, or you can just a front image with buttons and all the designing part. We have declared a class here, class height, and in that class we are going to declare every function variables to work with them. Coming back here, we have declared a variable that is for output. These were just variables and headings part that would be needed. Now we are going to make a main function. I am going to pass a root. So this root will be my tkinter instance in which I am going to load my variable, make a variable, and in that pass my tk instance, and that variable is passed here with the name root. After this, we are just going to design our root title. Our title will be so this will be the title of our root window. Now we are going to find the geometry here. It after this, the thing that is the resizable. You can make your window resizable to be true, but if we resize it, some of the designing part may mess up with the other part, like some white screen starts appearing there, that doesn't look. I'm going to make it false. If you want, you can make this true so that you can resize it, but there is no use for resizing because we are not just doing anything. We are working with the decoding and encoding part. So I don't find it that you will need something like resizable. Now I'm going to make pass the here variable. After this, I'm going to define another title, the frame title, and previously we have defined the window title. Well, we will pass the frame text. So this will be the our label that we have defined. May help user to identify okay what's happening there. Like when we will declaring buttons, it will be a bit difficult that no one will able to identify okay what they need to do. So we have defined some labels so that they can use them and identify okay how they have to proceed. Here I'm going to font. Here this will be my size. Here we go with the find the padding, and for that we need a grid. Grid y is equal. After this we are going to the buttons. So our first button will be for the encode button. So button, we are going to pass the frame. We are going to text here, code. After this comes the command, but currently we are not going to give the command. Heading text is 14. Will be code dot configure. Font size. So we have here we have made a button. Our next button will be for the decode. Code variable. After this, our frame will be remain as it is. The text here we decode, and as we have said previously, command will not be the. We will write the command afterwards. Now we need to heading here. So code did given the configuration, we are just going to give the price equal. This was we have made two buttons here. The first button is for the encoding button, that if user press the button he gets the particular work. For example, he will get the encoding function done, and if he clicks with the decoding he will get the decoding. Also make to do this for the decode. Here we have done with code, we have done code. Now we are going to make some more labels, a designing part that I have told you. So here we go. Art, this function actually help us to design our label. So art we have previously designed. F text like art, we have earlier declared the art. art. Yeah. Next one will be size will look some large text. R2 that we have not written, but we will be writing or designing it. It table F text art. We are going to the grid here. Here we go. See the config for the R2. Currently we have left that empty, but if we want, we can go with that. We will keep it as some bit small. Now next comes we need to just the grid here. Grid go 1 to 1 the root dot grid underscore column configure and weight is equals to 1, because the row and column configure that we currently gave. Our design part for the front page is some bit complete. We can say just need to close everything. For example, f dot grid, then title dot grid 1 row is equals to 1. Then next we have made a button code button encode that we need grid row 2 row is equals to. Now next comes up the decode button that we have made. Decode dot grid row is equals to. Now comes the art that we have. So ASCII art dot grid 4. We will be giving some padding also because it is a writing part, a textual part. So pad y is equals to 10. Similarly, we will go with the 2 grade row is equals to 5 and pad I is. Now we have made our function that is the main function, and that will we begin everything. For example, if we run the program, he will get this page and then he can decide whether he wants to go with the encoding, he wants to go with the decoding. Now we are going to just complete it. For example, we have not made a root variable, so we have a root dot. Okay, after this we are just going to declare a variable o equals to height, our class. So we have made an object for this. We will be just passing in function of this object with the variable root that we have declared to root dot main loop. We have finally made our first function. We are going to run it. Okay, here we have written still not. So you can see this is our first part that we have actually, and everything is as per this in image here. We will make that also. This is the page that the user is going to see when he is going to run the program. then he can proceed with the encode, or he can go with the will be displaying the front page of to the user. They have a choice either they can go with the encode or they can go with the decode. Now that was just the designing part. Similarly, I have designed two more pages here. The first is the define home function that I will tell you use afterwards. I have defined two frames more. The first one is the frame encode. Now everything is the same. We have used some tables. We have created a new. We have destroyed the previous frame that we were getting, and we have added some buttons to select and to cancel. Now if the user cancels the button, it means back button, so that they get back to the main function. We have given a command here, command lambda hide home. This is our home function that I have told you. It will just destroy that frame and rerun the user to the main function, that is the above function. That was our home page. Similarly, I have also made a frame for the decode, the name frame1, so that if user is selected for the decode, they can go to the decode, and if they have selected, we need to write the function for that. If they have cancelled, they will get back to the home page. Was the function for the home page, calling the function to the home page. Now to save the time, I have already done the designing. If you want to design on your own, you should try by doing that to your own, but if you want, you can just pick these functions in your code, that you may also save your time for your designing. Since this project is huge, we don't have that much time for the designing. So this was our front page that we have designed earlier. I have given a space that this data heading is in at the center. Now if someone will click to encode, previously nothing used to happen. This time he is diverted to a new frame, that is the frame1 encode that we have created. Select function will not do anything. We have not given the command, but cancel will return us. Someone go to the decode, he will see this text here. Select function will again not do, but here is the option to. So we have designed the frame. Now in this video, we will just start with the coding part, that is the main part of the function. So we are going to first start with the frame2 decode. It means that if someone has selected that he wants to decode an image, then where we should divert them. We need to define a function, define frame2 underscore decode. So now here we need to give a two function, that is the self, and other one is the frames that we are actually getting. So when someone will be at frame1 decode, it has destroyed the f.destroy. Now we need to destroy the second frame that was created, that is d underscore f2 frame. So we will destroy this frame and create a new frame again. So just go d underscore f3 here, frame here. This root was actually our variable that we have just made for the from the tkinter function. Now here we go with the my file, creating a variable. Now what we are trying to do is we are just opening a particular image to decode. So we are taking a variable, on that we can write the path or make a variable so that it may load image in itself. So just using all the functions file dialog that we have previously quoted. Now here we go, ask open file and name. Now this time we need to enter the file type so that user can only just select a limited file to go with that. So the first file, since this is an image file, then we can just give an option to open an image only. We go with the png, the first one, and if it is png, also go with the star.png. We have made our first image, that is the brackets should not come. So if someone has actually selected a png, he can select all the types with the extension png. Now we have another file also, in this the brackets. The next one we will just add another file type, In this file type will be the JPG. One is working with the JPG file. The JPG is written, but actually it's JPEG. We have not noticed it properly. The full syntax is right, means open all the files with the. Now next comes the JPG one. We go with the JPG format. Now the next file type, if there is a like another file type which we are not able to assume or not able to identify, so we need to give a option, that is the all files option, that if a user selects go with the all file option, he can select any particular file of its size. But if he will try to encode with the or decode a file that is a text file, he will definitely get an error. But we are giving this option that it is not compulsory that all the images file will be of this type only. To go with the star dot star means all the files with any type of format, so that if user have any particular files that are not listed here, that is the PNG, I have just given the main files name here, he can choose them, select them. Now next thing comes, we are going to a function not my file. Even after giving the all function also we are not able to get the file, we need to use message box to display a message. We need to show an error. That if user try to just open an empty space file, we need to show that nothing has selected. Now we will go with the else statement, that if there is some file, so we will create a variable that is my image. Now this variable will use the function that is image that we have imported from the pillows. Image dot open. Now we are going to open this my file. There are three operations to work with, and we are working with the read operation because we will copy it in a particular variable that our original file may not get changed. So I am taking a new variable that is my image, and in that I am going to make paste that particular image. I will fix a particular size. Size will resize this that image here. So if you are having a wallpaper size image also, we can resize that and use it on our particular format, and no one will able to identify that that image actually has a lots of important data that is very precise. Here we are going with okay dot photo image every sent. After this we are going to create a label. Here we go with the that is the new one created. Text is after this we are going to display the image and the new image that we were having. 4 font size will be. Now here we have given the font size also, we have made a label also. Now we will use the grade function for grade. Now we will creating another label. Our frame was df3. Means that we have actually created this one after resizing. So this is a new image that we have actually created from the Python. close this panel also. Using label means the user will not be able to edit anything on these things. After this comes the main part, that is the hidden data. So basically first we are making a function for decoding, then we will make a function for the encoding. Self dot decode taken away. Now we will declare a decode function to actually work with it. After this we need full labels, label f3, that function, that the decode function that we will call, give us the decoded data, and then we can paste it here. It will inform the user that the hidden data is. After this we will display that hidden data. Also the font we have here, here we go, we have declared the font. Last thing left is bring it in a grid. You will not bring it inside a grid, you will not be able to see that label. Now we will be making a text area, basically display the text the user, and that text was the hidden data that we want to show. For that we want a text area, the function text with the d width equals to d. After this the function to actually insert the data and directly write it here. Third function, we have written hidden data. Now we will use the grid function. Grid. Now after showing the data, we need to give a user again a back button so that user can actually come back to its original page. Giving back button, done. See the frame that we were having, text. Now command we are going to give it, but not now because we don't have that particular function. We will declare the function first and we are going to give the command. We need to give the back button a config that we have declared. Here we go. We need to grade. We have done that. Now we need to create another button that will tell something about the new image that we are having. So we will just use a function that show underscore. Now this will actually a button here EF3. This is not about the hidden data that we want, but this is something about the image data that we are having. So we are going to info and we are going to give the command for this. Copy this. So and make it a bit smaller than the button text because this is information. So we can make it as 11. Now after this, back our grid. So F3, 8, to 1. Also destroy the destroy. We have made our function, that is what happens the select for the. We also need to make a decode function when the user just go for the decode button, like here he asks for the hidden data, you can easily display the data. So hello everyone, last lecture we have defined a function that is frame to. Now this function was about that what happens if the user goes into the decode format. So we need a external function, that is the decode function we will declare in this video, to show the decoded information or the hidden information to the user. Now similarly we need to make a new function, that is the frame to code. I have made it here. It is everything is similar. We need to declare a new frame. We go with the files. After working with the files, we the error. After this we will be coming here, we will be making a my image, resize the image, we will select the selected image, then panel, then in that panel we need to add some more information like the output image size, so that this time we are actually creating an image with an hidden formation. So previously we were just getting the image into our take into panel, you say that just displaying the image. This time we are just creating a new image because we want a hidden image. We have gone with the panel.image.image, and after that we have created a new image. So we need to use another function, make a new function for the encoding function, because first we will just create the image, then we will encode the information into it and then return back to the user. Showing the user, we will get back to our point, that is the home page. So we will work with that, but before we will complete the decode function, if you can write your own code function, it is really a good thing. But if you are just getting an error, you can just have a look here, understand the code, because it is all same as we have made the decode code, and use and then again rewrite your function. So now we need to work with the decode function. Before that, just take care that whatever buttons you are taking, like here I have made a button, but not giving an information or the things that needs to be done, like the instructions or the commands I have not given here, but I have given the commands here. For example, if we select a button, we will be redirected to a frame to decode, and if we cancel it, we will be redirected to similar here. If we will just cancel it, we will be redirected to the home, but if we select it, we need a new function, that is encoding information encoding function, and redirect to home function. So this was about the frame to decode that we have actually made, and I hope that it may be look some bit complex, but you will start understanding about this when we will write the complete code. So this time we need a function to actually decode our information. Currently we are just working with the take int only, getting the image, showing the image to the user, working with the images and displaying the images. Now from here starts the coding part, that is the function to actually write the data. So this function is for actually taking the information from the user, means the image from the user that user has given, and give the data to the user. So here we go, we'll create a variable that is data. Currently it is empty. Now we will create another variable that is image data. We are using a iterating function, image dot get data. Here we need to make another function, that is the get data do. This function is actually just decodes the information that is written there, but for getting a data we need a new function, and for encoding also we will be building a new function. That functions will help us to work with all these images that are inside it. So here we go. First we will go create a variable pixels. Now in this we will just iterate over these pixels, value for value, data. Next, we go with the, it means that we are going to use to actually get the data. We will just copy it, paste it here. Again, we will paste it. Additional. So we have created a pixels and we are just getting inside the image data, finding using this next function. So this next function actually give us the next value of the data that is present inside there. And actually we are working here with the pixels. It means RGB format, that is red, green, blue. These three pixels are in image and we are working with. Now we will be creating a binary string. This binary string, after we have the pixels, our pixels variable, we will iterate over there to convert them. After this we are module. We are here trying to work with the binary numbers, means converting the string value into a binary format, or the reverse of that, that is the binary into a string format. So L will be data variable that we have defined earlier. Add all the data or the characters that we have got. Our variable as our variable, that is binary str. Convert everything in format. Then we will get the character information for that integer value, like 0011. What is the character value for that particular value? We are just after this. Here we have made a function that is for decoding function, that it may work with the decode. Here we are just working with the data. We are just getting the image data, and we will be using a function that is get data. Now that get data will actually resize the image and return that particular data that we want. After getting that data, we are going to iterate over it for a particular time. After that will get some binary value. Now for we will be fetching from the pixels all that binary, convert them into 001 binary strings, and after this, after those binary strings, just convert them into a character. So if you are having 0011, again 010, means it may be a alphabet or B alphabet, and that is for the data. After this, we having a complete data, the information that is written, and return it back. Hello everyone. Up till now we have made a function that is the decode function. That how we can, we were building some extra functions, build that, and those functions were this encoding functions, because it will be help us with the encoding. Decode function is all complete. Just we need to build this that was here. With these functions, when they will work together, we will actually have our data completely. So this was about the decoding. Next, coming to another function, that is the information. We have made a button for the information which would tell everything about the image. For example, if I go with the image like info, if I click on this button, and we have given this info button up here, the coding part, go up, back down, info button, it's here. This information button will all this information, try to fetch all the data of the given. For example, its original image, size of original, width, height, coded image, size of decoded, any more, and it will give us that info. If unable to fetch the information, give us that. Now another function is here, that is the generate data. So this generate data will actually go with the data, like the data that we will be passing, and in that data it will try to get the function ordi, and it is for the Unicode return. It returns the Unicode of the character that we are having, and after this it will give us that Unicode character string to a new variable. Now coming here, this is the main function as the pixel. First, our pixels are in a 0 to 1 format, means 3 pixels are taken at once. The reason we are taking a 3 pixels is that there is a 3 pixel format, red, green and blue, and your whole image is made up of those 3 pixels only. If you are having a RGB image, every image is RGB. If you are having a RGB code of an image, you can just get the color of that particular image. Image has multiple RGB codes in that. Every time we just fetch a 333 format of RGB codes into a 3 column pair, and after that we are just going to iterate over it from range 0 to 8. Now we are taking 0 to 8 because the 8th character identifies that this is the end of the string, and the first character identified that the string has started. Now we will just convert that 8-bit code into a 0-1 format code, and we are dividing it modulus by 2 and just finding the 0 or 1 code, 0 or 1 string for that particular code. After this we will convert that code back and just return the pixels that we have actually got into a tuple form. Now this was the modify pixel. Here we have the encoding encryptions. So this encryptions will actually put pixels into that particular pixel, resize the image or resize the pixels of the image that we were previously having. For example, if you can see, we have given a function modify pixel, and this will modify all the newly generated pixels that we have generated, and in that pixels we are having our text or the data also encoded with that. For example, if you go to the modify pixel, you can see that there is a data list in which we have generated a data into a particular string format. We are switching between pixels and pixels data, and to achieve that switching, we are converting our data into from string to a Unicode, so that we can add that data into our pixels. After completing this, we will come to the encoding function. Here we can have an error that if there is no data, that data was not given here. If we give a data, it will just split the data, give that particular function or value to us with a successful message. Welcome back everyone. Congratulations, our project is, we have a complete code to actually decrypt or encrypt our data into an image form, and this part is actually called a steganography, data hiding in. That is a simple meaning of a steganography, and it is popular everywhere because everyone just write their data on a diary and keep it as a secret box that anyone can use to. These data is actually in image format, and we can make them more complex by adding a key there, that if someone does not have a key, we cannot use the data. But here we are just going to check our project, that how does it debug. So I am going to run it. Now here I am going to put the data. I am going to select an image. Well, I am going to pick one that I am having. Now enter a text here, data hiding. I will save it as. You can see I got a message that the image is saved, and as soon as I click it, I will return back to my original home. If I go to the decode and select an image, I will go with the key equal one, open it. You can see this is the data that we have actually. This is actually how data looks like. Here we are having another button, that is the more info. It tells us about my original image that I am having, about my decoded image that we are, the information about that particular. Now Now this is how actually the things work. If I come to my desktop, you can see there is an image created, and this is the third image that we have created, cake 111, and we have encoded this image to this particular. If you can see the size also, the size are definitely same because we have the same thing to operate it. Now if I open this image that we have used to actually decrypt our data, so you will never be able to identify that okay, there is some additional data present here, or someone has written anything. If someone would be just looking at the images, he would have thought that okay, there are some images that we are just using to decode. This is my first image that I am opening, the image, and coming here, actually the data that we have written in our image, and I can also see the info also. I will get our image are open. So this is the image that we are having, the cake 1 image. So you can see this is our cake 1 image that we have decoded information here, and it is really very difficult for you to identify. There is the information is actually pixels, so we don't know how the pixels is actually, but the pixels are here. So it will be very difficult for anyone to actually identify the images. You can keep your encoded images in a separate folder and decoded images on another folder. And save it like a new folder name, another folder name, personal, anything. Everyone will just think that it is a gallery folder that you have made, but no one would able to identify that there is some text written here, and that is the secret text associated with this image, like the image. See, this cake 111 image is actually having a text, and this is the power of a steganography. It helps you to securely save your data, and no one will ever be able to identify your data what is written. Even you can save here, the best thing is the password, but with passwords you can say, add here some additional information like task completed, the projects you are working, so that no, you don't want to know that anyone is working, that would know that on what projects you are working. You can save them there also. If you want to save your personal info, like no one would able to see it, you can save there also. Even your personal budget that you are having, and you don't want that anyone have a look over it, or the information about your properties, your dockers, that in just simple images, and you are all set. Just click the image and have a look at it, that what is written there, and again close that. No one will able to identify that there is a text in. So I hope this project will be a very testing project. It would have taught you many things. It is a bit complex, so you would be needed a 2-3 times. Just try to understand what is written there. Not able to understand, just try to rewind the video. You will get everything that what has actually happened here, how we are working with it. And this is a bit complex project, so at the first time you will find some difficulty with it, but continuously working with them, be able to just work and get what is happening. Thank you.